Auction time. This is the 4P series auction. 4P01. It is a knife. This time I've got glue under the wrapping. This is hemp cordage wrapping. I did this morning, so it was kind of quick. I should have done this down here better, but anyway. Yeah, this is raw Georgia chert. This is the type of knife I like to use personally. Yeah. I like either wrapped a stone down here or a skinny 4-shaft type handle for my personal knives. This is 6 15/16, almost 7 inches total. Yeah, I need to make a knife for myself when I go hunting, but I get to the auction and I'm going, I need something to offer, so I end up offering them in the auction. But yeah, I'll make another knife, of course. Try to get it on video with the butchering and all that stuff. Okay. $4P02. This is a bandy point that I made from ranch rock, from that ranch that I went hunting on. This is heat treat. And I've been knapping the ranch rock during the week, which takes away time from my auction projects. So I said, let's just make one for the auction in that case. So yeah, it's a bandy. Lots of serrations on it. Two and 3/8. And I went by the book on this one too, so it matches the sizes in the red book, Texas Artifacts. It's a little bit wide, a little bit wider than the pictures in the red book, but the length is good, and the notches, the base width is good, the notches depth is good, everything's good. All right. 4P03. This one is on video. Yeah, on aqua. It looks like a Scalorn Edwards and Serrations had a baby. Yeah. I don't know. You can see it all on video. It's a heat treat. Okay. All right, let's see. Boxes. $4P04. Box of Brooks and Bifaces. This one is raw Georgia chert. I didn't want to mess with it after I saw that hole in there. 4 1/4. It's still kind of wonky in the preliminary stages. I would personally heat treat this before going any further. 375 degrees to 400 degrees for, at least 2 hours, probably 4 hours. This is a heat treated piece of flint ridge. Big old piece, but I didn't want to mess with it. 6 1/4. Yeah. Flint ridge is nice looking material, but I really don't like messing with it. Yeah, for some reason, it's extremely hard, but it naps easily, right? It's just a whole different mindset to nap this stuff. So one of you guys, if you like flint ridge, one of you guys can utilize this. Already measured 6 1/4, or almost 6 1/4. It's got some cracks. I don't think it has cracks on the interior. If it did, I would not offer it as a whole piece. I would just break it myself and make sure it's got no further cracks in it. If it's got a crack through the middle, what I do for my own use is I make sure it breaks right where that crack is, and then I can use the pieces for something else. All right, Georgia Chert again. This is swirl. Both of these are swirl, so they can go up to a heat treat of 400 degrees easy. This one is 7 3/4. I was going to use this to make a knife out of after I heat treated it, but I didn't get around to heat treating. So I'm going to offer it to you. I think I took care of all the mess. There was some mess up here on the top. This side looks pretty good. I'm checking just to make sure there's no cracks. Yeah, so to get it thinned down, I recommend heat treating it. This looks like it might be a little crackly in here, but I think none of these cracks go deep. Yeah, so with heat treat, you should be able to skin all that off. This material is hard to knap through, as you can tell. And it's starting to pop through this side, so it's hard to knap through on this side too. So, that's why I heat treat it. All right. This one is a biface that I heat treated. It was made by somebody else. And then this morning I started knocking flakes off just to make sure it was a good quality heat treat. It's a good quality heat treat, but it has, little issues with it. That shouldn't be too hard to clear off there. I would have done it this morning, but I ran out of time. Let's see. Some of this stuff. Yeah, this broke on me last week. I put it in the heat treat and took off some flakes this morning just to test it. I don't think this is the same. I don't think this goes together, but it's the same material. And it's high grade heat treat now. It was hard to knap before, but now it's pretty easy. This stuff is challenging stuff. This is a heat treat also. Very high grade here where it's not chalky. So this is a challenge. I didn't want to mess with it because it takes too long for me to mess with these, even though I can make stuff out of it. It takes longer to mess with these chalky areas. But other than that, it's high grade heat treat. And I got a bunch of little chips. I got a bunch of little brokes. Yeah, I think this is a raw. Yeah, this is raw piece. Needs to be heat treated. Don't go over 375 with this stuff. Don't heat it more than 375 degrees Fahrenheit. It might start popping. This is Ranch Rock. Yeah, Ranch Rock. I think both of these. Yeah. Yeah, these are pieces of the Ranch Rock that I was messing with this week. Okay. And if I find more small broken pieces, I'll stick them in here to fill up the gaps. But the box is pretty full as it is. Okay. $4P05. It's a box of obsidian. These pieces of obsidian are from my friend Luke, and I've got a bunch of it, so don't worry. I'm gonna nap a lot of it on video and do like a test box like I did before. Anyway, this is high grade stuff. All of this is high grade. The only one that's maybe not so high grade is this piece right here. It's kind of like a silver sheen, sort of, kind of, but it's higher grade than that. The only issue with this was there were some cracks in it, but I think I got them all out. Okay. They're all kind of different obsidians that you normally would find. They're kind of unusual. 4 1/4. You'll see. You get into it. Obsidian varies quite a bit, right? So this is from a certain part of California, I think. Yeah, from California. So it's different from Oregon obsidian and different from Utah obsidian and that kind of thing. I think Nevada has obsidian too, so they're all kind of different. It all depends on how they cool down, I think. Anyway, this is a high grade. It's like a black butter, but once in a while you'll see little pockets of stuff. Once in a while. This, ouch. What is this? Yeah, I was chipping this morning, so I got little bitty flakes in here. 4 3/4. This is an unusual black butter looking dacite that's got red in it. It's got some red in this dacite, which I have not seen before. It's got streaks of red. It's not like mahogany obsidian. It's a higher grade than that. I'll be knapping some of that on video. Very interesting stuff. 4 1/8. This is a piece of banded obsidian, very temperamental. It step fractures extremely easy, but I thinned it down for you so you can just finish it out with pressure flaking. The only spot that might be crunchy is this one right here, but I think you can run a flake or two into that area to get that out. Yeah, it's snapping half-ish stuff, so I thinned it down for you. 4 1/2. And I say for you because I was not going to make anything out of it. I just wanted to offer it in the auction. All right. This is a gray dacite, high grade. A little over 3 1/2. Yeah, this is the highest grade gray dacite that I have ever knapped. This one here is also a dacite. It's a gray, charcoal gray. It has a lot of characteristics that people like and don't like about dacite, but it won't crush on the edges as much as regular dacite that might look like this. It's a higher grade than that. 6 3/4. So yeah, it doesn't crush on the edges as much as the other gray dacite that I've knapped. This is pretty good stuff. Yeah, black butter. It may have some ash pockets or whatever they're called in it. I skinned off a lot of the outside perimeter and thinned down some of the square edge. This had a big old fat square edge. I took that off. This one is 4 7/8. So yeah, this is another high grade black butter dacite with red streaks in it. Very faint red. I think you can see it. And it might have some ash pockets in it. But other than that, it's high grade stuff. Very nice. And some of the snapping half-ish type of dacite. Let's see, do I have a... Yeah, these are the same. It's very high grade, but it's very delicate. It will snap in half. I still call it a high grade because it's extremely easy to run flakes on. And it does thin down, so you can get it pretty thin as long as you're very careful with it. Yeah, this and this are the same stuff. It pressure flakes extremely well, but yeah, it's delicate. All right, not as delicate as this stuff. All right. For P06, this is a box of bifaces that are thinned bifaces. The edges are not sharpened, they're just thinned down. And this is the kind of stuff I save for myself to make things out of. Okay. This one here is a, let's see, it's 4 5/8. I'm trying to remember if this is a heat treat or not. I think this is a heat treat, root beer type. Should pressure flake extremely well for you. This is a heat treat. I believe all of these are heat treats except for this one. This is a raw piece. But everything else is heat treats. Yeah. All right, so I don't know what material this is. This is just these are all Texas cherts, right? All of these? Yeah, these are all Texas cherts. All right, 4 7/8. They're already thinned out, so you just need to, you can just finish them off with pressure and that's it. Yeah, I wouldn't try to thin them down any further. This one, I started out with a raw piece, got it as thin as I could raw, which was kind of hassle, and then I heat treated it and it flakes well. But I didn't want to thin it down any further, so this side is still kind of unfinished from the first attempt at thinning. Now I did take a flake here trying to get rid of that lump, but it didn't go very far. And I took a flake off of there. It flakes well now that it's heat treated, but I'm afraid to go any thinner. Okay, this one is 5 3/4. You know, an advanced knapper can get thin. I can get this thinner if it doesn't break. You know, I have to depend on luck to get it thinner. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, this is a piece of heat treat. Looks like Georgetown, but I did heat some of this Georgetown looking stuff. Three 7/8. Yeah, so you can finish that off with pressure. This is another heat treat, root beerish looking. 3 7/8. I don't consider it root beer unless it's a deeper reddish color. But this is very similar to root beer. It's very close. And some people would call this root beer. But I've seen this stuff with a more of a reddish tint. So I call it root beerish. I measured it already. Okay. This one is different consistency as you go down. Yeah, it naps extremely easily up here and then it gets tougher down here. But it's still a nice heat treat. 4 7/8. You can try to thin it down a little bit more. Yeah, it still has some room, but I was going to leave it because I didn't want to snap it. This will snap. And this piece of chert, it's black chert I got from my friend Dawn. I was going to make a knife for myself out of it. But I said, you know, I don't know, 4 3/4. You don't need to thin it any more than this. I don't recommend thinning it down anymore because it will snap. But I think it's raw. It's like Owl Creek chert. The feel of it and the way it naps extremely well. So this is like a black or a dark gray Owl Creek chert type stuff. I skinned off all the bad areas from this side. It had some chalky junk here. See, I made this at the nap-in, that last nap-in I went to. All right. Very rare stuff. In my opinion, this is very rare, this black one here. Everything else is kind of rare, but not as rare as that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bifaces. There are thinned bifaces. $4P07. This is a box of heat treats. Chunky, kind of thick, so you got some room. And I assembled this morning and I tested all of it. It's all high grade stuff. All right, high grade stuff. So you'll be surprised how high grade it can be. If you don't know what high grade heat treat is, now's your chance to find out. 3.5. I tested all of these myself this morning. You shouldn't have any issues. There might be pockets every once in a while, but now that it's heat treated, it should nap all the way through. Yeah, see, it became really glossy. 4.25. All these are high grade heat treats. 4. I tried to skim off as much of the bad stuff as I could. I don't think there's any bad stuff left. There might be some crunchiness there. And there might be some incipient bulb in there, so you need to remove this area here, which is pretty obvious the way it looks. Other than that, it's high grade stuff. Took off that big flake this morning. 3.5. This was a broke. I heat treated it and it became really nice. 3 3/8. This might not look like high grade stuff, but it is. It's terrible to nap in the raw state, but once it's heated, all of these are heated to 400 for 4 hours. Yeah. 3.5. This is interesting stuff. I didn't want to offer this in the auction because this is one of my favorite colors. This yellowish, it looks like yellow Owl Creek stuff. But I got some more of it, so I'm not selling all of it. Almost 4 7/8. Yeah, you shouldn't have any issues with it. There might be some incipient little bulbs and stuff, but it's thick enough that you got a lot to work with. On all of these, they're thick enough that you can work with them pretty easily. This one, it will snap in half on you. This stuff here, the prettiest stuff is usually the most snappish stuff. This one will snap in half. Be very, very delicate and gentle with this one. It naps extremely easily, but it's like obsidian. Let's see. Yeah, I took a big old flake this morning off of this one. This one's good. Now, this got some quartzite right there, so you're not going to be able to use the whole piece. You're going to have to lose some of that off of there. So just be aware. But other than that, it's high grade. 3.5. And I didn't nap through that quartzite there to test it. It does not look like it goes all the way through. But I tested this part, which looked nice, and it is very nice. All right. Uh, 3 7/8. Yeah, this was napping nicely. This one, this naps nicely, but you gotta watch that you don't hit it too hard. It feels a lot like that Flint Ridge type of consistency. This particular type of chert. It's very hard, but it naps easily, which makes it kind of snappy, and it can step fracture badly. All right, so just be aware. This I consider high grade stuff, but it's a lot like Flint Ridge, which I don't personally nap very much because of its hardness. All right. Yeah, if I'm going to nap a heat treat, I want to nap something like this. Okay, or this. All right. That's it. Okay, rules. You bid in the comment section under one of my pre-populated comments. That means you'll be replying to one or more of my comments. Okay, my comments will contain the item number, a timestamp where the item appears in the video, and a short description of the item. Okay? I go through before I post the video and put comments in there which describes the items, and you bid under each one of those, or bid under those as a reply or a comment to my comment, a reply to my comment or a comment to my comment, whichever one you prefer to call it. That's how you bid. Okay? I will like your comment if I see it. That's important. Sometimes comments are not always visible. It may take a while for me to like your comment, but as the time approaches the end of the auction, I will check more frequently. Try not to bid at the last minute. I'm using YouTube's time tracker, and it's not always accurate. It can be up to 2 minutes off. Please be aware of this. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is discounted but not free. International rates often change. I might need to charge more than this, so I'll add to your winning bid some shipping cost if you're international, right? I will provide tracking numbers. I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, checks, or money orders. I can also email you an electronic invoice that you can pay with a card. Note, I cannot charge your credit or debit card on my end. So if you used to be able to give me your credit card number and I could create an invoice and pay for it on my end, but I can't do that anymore. It doesn't, PayPal doesn't allow me to do that anymore. I think it's a security measure. So you need to, if you want to use a card, you need to pay for it on your end. I can't keep your card numbers on file because it won't work for me. All right. Winners will be announced starting at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time, which means 8 Central, 7 Mountain, or 6 Pacific. Yeah, pay attention to your time zone. I will announce the winners at 9:01 p.m. if you are Eastern Time. I will announce the winners at 8 p.m. if you're Central Time, and blah, blah, blah. I'm on Central Time, which is 8 p.m. So just pay attention to your time zone. Okay. I will reply to your winning bid with sold, thank you. Yeah, I cut and paste this little response. Item number and price. Please email me your name, address, etc. Yeah, if you're new, this is very, very important. I don't have any way to contact you when you win. You need to make sure you pay attention to the comment section, and I will reply like this, and then you email me your information. Okay? Now, if you've already done business with me, you don't need to email me your information because I will write down your address, name and address and stuff. But if you're new, this is extremely important. There's no private messages in YouTube. I won't be able to look you up easily on Facebook or something to remind you or anything like that. So don't be looking somewhere else for a notification that you won. Look in the comments section. I will notify you in the comment section. Okay. These are my cheat notes. Yes. There is a better description of the auction in the description box below. Please look at my previous auctions to see how they work. If you are not able to reply or comment, you will not be able to bid. I can enter your bid for you if you email me. Yeah. If you're having trouble, if you just cannot comment, something screwed up with YouTube, you can email me and I'll enter a bid for you. But it's much slower because, sometimes I don't receive emails in a timely manner. Sometimes I'm distracted. I don't check my email or I forget to check my email, so I might not respond in a timely manner. So just be aware. Okay. Auction 3J has a demo on how to bid. I used my tablet. Yeah, if you type in Jack Crafty Auction 3J, it'll come up. And I think I have a pinned comment there with a little timestamp that you can see the little demo that I used on my tablet. The demo that I used my tablet with. Okay, let's see. All right, hope you liked the items. Hope you had a good weekend. And good luck.